Hi everyone, this is Virginia Parsons, your Hangout mentor, bringing you another training on how to reach new heights of success using this remarkable tool, Google Hangouts on Air. And today we're going to cover 5 tips for producing professional Google Hangouts that are going to really help effectively brand and market your business. So let's go ahead and get started. Tip number 1 is your camera. It's very important you have a high quality camera, and what I suggest you use is a Logitech C920. That's a 1080p high definition camera. If you don't have one of those on your laptop, you might want to pick one of these up and attach it. I use this on the top of my monitor for my desktop. Otherwise, you can use your built-in camera on your laptop, but it would be really great if it's a high definition one. Now make sure that your camera is mounted at eye level. It's very important you're looking directly into the eye of your camera and that it's at eye level. That looks the most natural for your audience and they feel the most connected to you. You also want to make sure that you raise up your laptop if it happens to be moving the camera below eye level. Just raise it up a bit. Another thing you can do to make sure you continue to look into the camera so you can really connect with your audience is to actually shrink down your broadcast and move it up to the top of your monitor. That way, if you have to look at the broadcast a little bit, no problem, you'll still look like you're looking into the monitor. So that's tip number 1, camera, a very important tip. Tip number 2 is your interconnection. Your internet connection is really important as well. Preferably, you have a hardwired connection rather than a Wi-Fi connection. If you're using a Wi-Fi connection, switch over to an Ethernet cable and get hardwired to your router for the very best, highest speed. You know, Hangouts use a lot of bandwidth, so you want to make sure you've got an adequate bandwidth. So you might want to go to bandwidthplace.com and check your speed. I really suggest a minimum of 3 Mbps so that you can get the full effect that you're looking for. And you know what? You don't want to drop off and lose the Hangout altogether. So get enough bandwidth. Now the other thing you can do is close all the tabs in your browser. If you have tabs open you don't need, close them down. You also close down any applications that you have, any programs you're not using, close down your email, any of those things you're not using, close them down, and that will increase the memory you have, and you need plenty of memory as well. You might also want to just reboot your computer. Once you reboot it, you're going to increase your memory, and that will give you a better speed and connection as well. You can also adjust your bandwidth. Up at the top of your Hangout, there's going to be a spot that you can click on to adjust your bandwidth and slow it down, and that way it might be not as clear a picture, but at least you won't drop away from the camera and lose your connection with your audience. That would be a critical mistake. Now, browsers you use are up to you. I prefer Google Chrome because it's a Google product, just like Google Hangouts are. But you can also use Firefox or Internet Explorer. Just check which one feels and works best for you. Tip number 3, audio. It's very important you have clear audio for your audience. You don't want something muffled that they have difficulty listening to. I like to use an external directional mic. My favorite is the Yeti Blue, which you can see right here. I just set it about 2 feet away from me. It's directional, so it just picks up my voice and not the ambient sounds around me. It's not going to pick up the white noise from my computer. So I suggest a directional mic for you as well. Now, if you're using a laptop, you might want to go to earbuds. Just put some earbuds in like this. They'll have a mic underneath, and they'll be able to pick up the sound from your laptop without creating feedback. You don't want feedback or echoing, so make sure you and your guests are all using earbuds at the very least. Also, make sure that you don't type, because if you type and talk at the same time, guess what? It's going to mute you, and they won't be able to hear what you have to say. How about tip number 4? That's lighting. It's so important you have good lighting. Lighting gives you an even balanced look. So you want lights off to each side of you. I happen to like to use the OTT light. That's spelled O-T-T. OTT lights are full spectrum lights that you can set on each side of you, and they give you a very natural look. If you don't want to have pick up an OTT light, you can simply pick up clamp lights from your local hardware store and then put plastic bags from the grocery store over those to diffuse the light just a bit. I like a 40-watt daylight fluorescent bulb for those. And be aware of any backlighting you have from your windows. If you have backlighting from your windows, you want to make sure you pull the shades because that can make it very difficult for the audience to clearly see you. And if they're not seeing you clearly, they're not going to connect. So make sure you close those shades and put adequate lighting in. The next tip is image enhancements. It's very important that you come across as a professional and you want your image to look professional. So there's a tool at the top of the Hangout that when you mouse over, you'll see it. It says Enhanced. When you click on that, you have several options. Right now, I'm on the Focus. The Focus then can be changed also to Brighten if you're in a low light environment. You can use Spotlight. You can use the Warm enhancement. The Smooth, which is my preference. Black and White for more artsy types of Hangouts. And of course, just the standard original. I'm going back to the Smooth because that's my favorite. Now also lower third's important. So you can see lower third here underneath me. I'm going to give you a whole training on lower thirds coming up. But it's important that you brand and market yourself with a professional looking lower third. Add a logo if you'd like to. Now, guys and gals both, don't forget makeup. It's very important that your makeup just helps to matte your look. So you're not shiny, no shiny noses. So men and women both use some matte translucent powders for your makeup. And gals, good idea to add a little eye makeup as well so your eyes pop a bit. You're making that connection to your audience through your camera. So that helps you stand out as a professional. This is all about branding and marketing your business, coming across as a professional, an expert in your field, and I hope you found these tips helpful. Now, if you want more details on these tips, just go to my site, hangoutmentor.com, click on the blog, and you'll get a lot more information there. Thanks for stopping by today. This is Virginia Parsons, your Hangout Mentor. Bye now.